Hey everybody, Sean here from Atomic Productions back with another video. It has been quite a minute. I've been absolutely swamped with classwork lately, and it's just been kind of difficult um, with everything I've been doing and stuff like that to be able to give any time to YouTube and stuff like that. So I apologize for the absence and stuff like that, but I see now as a pretty good time to come back to uploading videos. And today I will be giving you my opinions on the new Godzilla Kong the New Empire film, which is especially fitting because my last video that I made, which is relatively successful, um, was also discussing this film. Of course, that was a while ago, but yeah, so basically I will just be giving you my opinions about this movie in two sections. The initial section will be me talking about general thoughts about the film and stuff like that that do not cover spoiler material. And once I get into the spoiler stuff, the second segment, I will give you a warning. So stick around. If you've already seen the movie, and if you haven't and you don't want to be spoiled, just watch this first part. And by the way, before we get into it, what do you guys think of this new setup? Um, I am recording. You can see my little microphone and stuff like that. I'm recording on my PC now. I used to set up my phone with a tripod for the longest time and stuff like that, but now I'm actually recording um, at at my computer and stuff like that. Um, and you can see my setup's a little busted, and I got my headphones sitting on my windowsill here and stuff like that. But you can see like the extent of the collection behind me and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna pull up my notes here in a second, and it's gonna look like I get flashbangs. So bear with me here. Okay, so to dive into the initial non-spoiler material of this movie, I just want to say that I enjoyed Godzilla Kong: The New Empire a significantly more than I liked GVK. Um, I don't know. There's just something about this movie that I liked more. Genuinely, overall, I haven't really liked, and I'll talk about this later in the video too. I haven't liked the direction that the MonsterVerse has been taking, getting sillier and sillier as time went on, and I really didn't enjoy Godzilla vs Kong for a lot of those reasons, I think. But there was something that this movie, and don't get me wrong, this movie is infinitely crazy. Like when GVK came out, I was like, wow, this is like as crazy as the MonsterVerse can get. But that is not the case. This movie's nuts. But there's something that this movie has that I like a lot more than GVK, at least initially. I don't know if I'm gonna like this movie less as time went on because I definitely started liking GVK less as time went on. But right now, for the most part, I liked this movie a lot more than the previous MonsterVerse film. And for the most part, visual effects are great in this film. Like the monster scenes look great. There is a few specific things that I don't like, mostly with how the monsters are animated. I think there's a few instances where they move far too quickly, and lack weight, I feel. And, the Godzilla community has been talking a lot about scale, stuff like that lately. That's something that I agree with for the most part. Um, you know, the Showa films lack a lot of scale because, they're people in suits and stuff like that, and I feel like they can get away with that more. But when you're animating these characters and they're fully CGI, I feel like it looks a little strange. But again, that's just my opinion. I've heard a lot of people talking about this movie, and they love how quickly the monsters move and stuff like that. But that's just something that I personally nitpick. For the most part, I really enjoy the human characters in this film. Again, I like them more than I did in GVK. However, I will say there's still a lot of cringy dialogue in this movie, which was something that I really couldn't stand about the previous movie. I really don't like the MCU style. Like every character has to make quips and jokes. Style of writing, I do not like that. In this movie had it, but I don't know if it was to a less degree or just the jokes were better, but there's something about like dialogue and the characters in this movie that I enjoyed a fair amount. I don't love them. I haven't, I don't think ever loved the characters in any of the MonsterVerse films, um, but it's good. Well, it's not good. Maybe it's just tolerable, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't really know if we needed Godzilla in this movie. This is a Godzilla and Kong film, but I think I read somewhere that Godzilla has the least amount of screen time in this movie than he does anywhere else in the MonsterVerse. Um, and I mean, like, I didn't miss him in this movie. It's not like, I was watching this movie and I was like, I wish there was more Godzilla. I feel, like, satisfied with the amount of Godzilla I got in this movie. But at the same time, like, I don't feel like he was necessary. I feel like he was more or less there just to be there. And we didn't need him. This could have definitely just been a Kong film. Uh, and almost that might have been better because if you take Godzilla out of the equation, you can spend more time focusing on Kong as a character and stuff like that. And I feel like, I'm not gonna say that I wish that the movie was like that, but it definitely could have been like that, and it wouldn't have been bad. This movie didn't need Godzilla, is what I'm trying to say. And personally, I do not like Godzilla's evolved form in this movie. Um, I do not like the pink spikes. I do not like how thin he is. I don't like the spikes on the tail. Um, yeah, I'm just not a fan. I will say that I like it more since I did my figure reviews and stuff like that because I was just a D1 hater of the evolved Godzilla form. But it's definitely far from being one of my favorites. I don't think it looks good, and I infinitely prefer the King of the Monsters design that the Monsterverse has been going with so far until this point. Like, I think that is like one of the definitive Godzilla designs, and now he looks different, and I don't like how he looks. And the Baby Kong, Suko, I liked a lot more than I thought I would. Um, at first, I wasn't really sold when I saw him in the trailers, and I was just like, oh shit, here we go, like a baby monkey for marketing purposes. But when it came to actually his character in the movie and stuff like that, I enjoyed him a lot more than I thought I would, and he's pretty fun. All right, now we're getting into the spoiler sections and stuff like that, so if you have made it to this point and you want to continue rather, I will be discussing spoilers, talking about the ending of the movie and stuff like that. Um, but if you do not want to, obviously, then feel free to click off. You've seen what you need to see. Okay, so when it comes to the spoiler stuff, the two main antagonists of the film, Scar King and Shimo, I think they're pretty awesome. I like their designs. You know, again, referencing this figure video a million times. I was definitely not a fan back then. Now I am. I enjoy them very much. However, I wish we would have gotten more from them. Uh, Particularly Scar King, he was very, very weak. He was a lot weaker than I thought he would be, especially because he's kind of been advertised to be like one of the biggest threats that the Monsterverse has seen so far. He holds nothing to Mechagodzilla nor Ghidorah. Um, and when I say weak, I mean like physically weak as well. Like, I understand the fact that a majority of his threat comes from his intellect and the ability he has to manipulate other monsters and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, he's smaller than Kong and I mean, other than like the initial fight scene in the Hollow Earth, I really thought was cool. The rest of the movie, he's just kind of using Shimo, and without Shimo, he's pretty much nothing. And I don't know if I liked that. I still wanted him to be physically intimidating. Mothra. Mothra coming back to the Monsterverse is not something that I anticipated happening so quickly, eh, but I'm very, very happy to see her back. I love Monsterverse Mothra, and, I felt like we didn't really get as much as I would have desired from her out of King of the Monsters. I loved her in King of the Monsters, but seeing her come back here was awesome. Uh, and that's all I really have to say about that. I'm just happy to see Mothra back. I love Mothra. Um, Especially Monsterverse Mothra, so it was cool to see her back. However, to kind of piggyback off of what I had to say about Mothra, but it's also kind of a general statement, I don't really think that I'm a fan of the direction that the Monsterverse is going. I'm gonna let them cook with what they're doing with the Iwi people and having them have a much stronger connection to everything than they initially would have, because originally the Iwi were just the people of Skull Island and they had a very strong connection to Kong. But now in this film, it's revealed that they have a strong connection, I think, all of the Monsterverse, all of the Hollow Earth. And Mothra is their god. And if I'm butchering this, I did have, at this point, only seen the movie once, so forgive me if I am not being um, intelligent. However, um, I don't know, just, it's not even really about the Erie people, it's really not. It's more about the Hollow Earth as a whole. I'm not really a huge fan of what the Hollow Earth has become. Um, you know, I really liked the idea of what the Hollow Earth was originally, kind of as an idea, uh, and I don't know if I liked it being explored and stuff, because originally it was just like tunnels and shit like that. But now it's this whole other world basically inside the planet. And, by the way, this is all just purely my opinion. We've kind of stepped away from critiquing the movie and more just me kind of having a little side tangent of my own. But I don't necessarily think I like where this is all going. However, I will say this is very Showa-esque. It's a very out there concept, and I do find it very interesting. Despite not liking it that much, I am interested in what they're doing, and I may not be excited, but I do want to see where this goes. It's not how I would have done it, but I mean, who really cares how I would have done it? This is what is happening, and the MonsterVerse has taken a very different direction um, than what you would have thought 10 years ago. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we should just be happy that we're getting as much Godzilla content as we are, both in the States and over in Japan. This has been a very successful, very big year for Godzilla. And as much as I'm complaining and stuff like that, I am still very, very grateful that this movie has been released and stuff like that. And I do intend eventually on making a video essay discussing my specific thoughts on the MonsterVerse as a whole on each individual film so far. Um, but yeah, that's just what I have to say about that. I don't know. I don't know. And now we're back off of the right ass like notes document I had, and we'll just back to talking to the camera. So that is what I had to say about Godzilla Kong, the New Empire. Just a lot of minor critiques or just personal thoughts. I don't know how long this video is going to end up being. Um, but yeah, no, I liked it. It's not one of my favorites, but it's pretty solid. I will say that it's a pretty solid film. Uh, I like it more than GVK, which is good because after GVK, I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth about the MonsterVerse for an extended period of time, and I was almost entirely uninterested in seeing this film when I initially saw the trailer. But I was not disappointed with this movie, thankfully, and I don't know. I'm both hesitant to see what the MonsterVerse releases in the future, but I'm also excited to an extent because it is more Godzilla content, and I think as long as they're not horrible, the more Godzilla movies, the better. I mean, I don't think we should put up with garbage, but I would hardly call this movie garbage. So if they keep on making movies like these, why not? You know what I mean? We're always gonna have Toho making absolute bangers like Minus One. I shouldn't have brought Minus One up because it's not really a fair comparison whatsoever. These are entirely different movies, and I think both are pretty damn good in their own ways. I'll be talking about Minus One in its own video, and I'll be talking about the MonsterVerse in their own video. So, yeah, that's just what I have to say about this film. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm glad to be back. School, I got about a month left of school at the time that this video releases. Um, and I will be trying to make more videos over the summer, but right now I'm just trying to kind of pump out some content before the school year ends. Just because I have some things I want to talk about. And this is also the 70th year of Godzilla, so I want to make as many Godzilla videos as I possibly can because I love the franchise. My love for the franchise has actually been rejuvenated as of late. And I just wanna dive on in. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I have been Sean from Atomic Productions, and let me know what you thought in the comments about this movie. Um, Whether or not you hated it, you loved it, it's the best Godzilla movie, it's the worst thing ever, and they should never make another one like this. Let me know, and we can talk about it. Thank you guys so much for watching.